I don't hold you to the same standards as everyone else.
Hello. And
Hello.
welcome to the morning after.
Save it to the morning after.
I have been informed that Amaryllis has things she wants to do.
Yes,
Dran.
I have a plan, TM.
So it's still
A cunning
snowing.
plan.
It's still snowing quite heavily. After, a night of heavy snow, the snow's built up, as you would expect around the town, making it eerily silent and crisp.
Specifically, what I would do is basically shave as much time off my sleep as I can get away with.
Yeah.
And then go around the town. You have to tell me how far you allow with this, but I want to set ritual cast alarm in as many sort of points, major places
Yeah. Okay.
as I can.
Okay.
And I imagine, because there's no technical limit within the spell of how many I can
No,
cast.
yeah, you can cast many.
And I presume I can designate, because I can just choose, I can just designate creatures that won't set off the alarm, so I can basically designate everyone in the village. And yeah, I imagine Amaryllis's alarms are very strange in comparison to most alarm spells. Like, it's bits of branches and leaves and spider threads and stuff like that.
Sure. Cool. You get up before everyone else in the village gets up, because no one's getting up early on a snow day like this. And set up twigs and spider friends in all sorts of places.
Yep.
So I think the next person to wake up early would be Richter, right?
Mm-hmm.
As our practical boy. You go and check out everything around the house and everything's fine. Oscar also getting up early to go and keep watching everyone during the snow. And I imagine you would make your way to the lodge where Rosemary is likely getting ready to start feeding everyone at some point or another. As you do, as you get in, and there's some people who are sleeping in the lodge because it's where a lot of people do sleep. She's a little bit flustered. She looks like she's lost something. She's looking around in the sort of space above the cooking area where you keep things, and under, and maybe see if someone's sitting on whatever she's looking for. She's looking around. A bit of a fluster.
Are you okay, Rosie?
Oh, well, I can't find the big copper pot that we use, not the one we used yesterday for the soup, the one we usually use for the stews and the fish and things. I can't find it.
I'm happy to help you look.
Okay. Thank you. I would really appreciate that. I mean, I could always use the same pot as yesterday, and that would probably add some nice flavor to the stew. But I don't like knowing that I've lost something. I'm usually better at that.
Everything must be in order. I agree.
You can give me an investigation check.
Goblin flesh. Looks like meat's back on the menu.
You do notice a weird little... you look around the lodge, and there's no sign of it. So then you start looking outside. Maybe someone took it outside to pour it out or something. Maybe even you did and you don't remember. So you look around the surrounding area outside, and you check to see if it's not maybe under the snow or something. But you see no sign of it. You see no sign of it at all. But there's also no footprints or anything that would denote if it's been stolen in the night by anyone in the community,
Does he see Amaryllis going around?
He
doing
sees
strange
Amaryllis
things?
going around setting up alarms. I don't want to say, you nearly see. You would see Amaryllis setting up twigs and things in the snow. And, you know, being around Belle and now Amaryllis long enough, you know that she's doing this for a reason. It does look like she's kind of looking or dowsing for something, almost.
I, like, give a interested squint and then head back inside to tell Rosemary I can't find it.
Well, that's a shame. If we lost it, then, you know, we won't be getting anything else like that until the mines, you know, we're mining up copper again.
Yes, it will turn up, I'm sure.
Aye, yeah. And she'll start, you know, morning cooking and things, but a little down.
As I leave, I like stop at the door and go, I'm sure whatever you cook in it will be just as delicious, regardless of the vessel, and walk out as I finish that.
Are you gonna go talk to Amaryllis, or what are you doing?
Yeah, gonna go talk to Amaryllis.
Cool.
He's gonna go and find a piece of metal and hang it into shape.
Yeah.
On his chest.
Yeah, with his pecs. He's not hitting it with his hands. He holds it. And punches it with his
I
pecs.
made this for you.
It's like a terrible mess of metal. Look, I made this for you. Amaryllis.
Amaryllis finishes messing with the spider's web.
My brain just melodied that. You went Amaryllis, and Amaryllis turned around and went
Amaryllis. And then she slowly turns. Look at him, young Richter.
What are you doing?
The flow brought me tidings that there might be a trickster entering our midst, a creature of some kind. These will inform me if something I do not know passes the area.
A trickster?
Sometimes we're
Like
just
a-
lawful evil,
A malicious?
so we could just find it and eat it.
I do not know. I saw only footprints quickly being hidden. A small creature, but that is all I am certain of.
Okay. Well, I'll keep my eyes out. Is what you're doing here some sort of barrier?
Unfortunately not. Even if I could set up barriers, I fear it is already among us. This will merely alert me if it steps near, which I hope to use to find and capture it.
I think I may patrol for a while then.
Keep a wary eye. Anything unusual happening might be caused by this being.
Meanwhile, you lost your chance. I gave you like 5 minutes. Belle, you wake up and you check around and you notice immediately that something's missing from Griff's workshop. There was a bag of
It's his leg.
woodworking tools. Well, yes. A bag of woodworking tools that was essentially on loan to people who were making the wall. Now that the wall is more or less finished, aside from it kind of knitting itself together, it was just sort of left to be placed back and put on back wherever it's meant to do, and Griff sure as hell wasn't going to do it. So that was just kind of left by the door. and it's noticeably not there.
Is Griff still sleeping?
Yeah.
She would take a peek out the door to see if she could find any tracks.
You can give me a survival roll.
I would love to do that.
No, the
There we
tracks
go.
are going to disappear.
There we go.
You don't see any tracks, other than tracks that are definitely from Amaryllis. She has a very particular lope to her gait. But what you do notice is that there's snow where the door would have opened. Snow has come in. That's recent. It's still, it's not yet melted on the slightly warm wood of the floor. So after Amaryllis left, someone has opened this door, but there's no tracks showing them leave.
Wait. Stop
All right.
pulling up the
I would
Shit.
run back in, grab like my bag and whatever, give Griff a quick kiss on his sleeping head, and go find Amaryllis, follow her tracks, and find her.
Yeah.
Again, similar to how Richter. But I actually know if Richter might even still be there.
Richter will probably be within sight, you know?
Yeah.
But I will wait for Neil. Torin, you probably sleep more often at Lehar's nowadays than not. And when you awake, Lehar is frustrated. And you can immediately tell why, because she has that little, like, half desk of stone that's kind of built into the wall. And there's always those, water-damaged old tomes that are really the connection to your people on the mainland of Jarviskjir. And they are noticeably not there. And she's looking around for them.
What's going on?
My books are missing.
Well, where did you put them?
Torin! Are you really going to ask me so foolish of a question? I am not so far gone in years that I am forgetting where I place my own things.
Well, there was that time when... But not with the books. Where do you think they might be? I've not touched them.
If you haven't touched them, and I haven't touched them, and someone else has come in here and...
It's got to be Gale.
Blasted.
There's no one else. He's the only new person who's arrived fortuitously just before the books disappear, and he's arrived because he's interested in learning. We have an intent.
Very well. Get the books back, Torin. If we have more questions about the spirits, we won't be able to possibly find any answers without them.
I'll go and find him this morning and I'll speak to him, but I won't let him know that we know yet.
Don't let him near me or I'll beat him upside the head.
I can't spook him in case he runs. It's like one of Bell's hunts. We have to remain downwind, or is it upwind? Something of the prey. I'm on it, Leha. Don't worry.
Downwind.
I understand
Downwind.
that they're really important. I'll get them back.
She's just mumbling to herself in anger.
Torin would walk straight out the door, not thinking to check the tracks, and make his way towards Griff's to be like,
noticeably,
Oh, hey there. Good morning.
you know, this requires no survival check that you can tell that 2 people have left Griff's recently. Amaryllis's tracks are quite easy to follow unless she's trying to hide them because she does kind of branch. So you can assume that Amaryllis and Belle have already gone off somewhere. Probably looks like they went off towards a lodge. Are you still going to go to Griff's and challenge Gale?
Oh, well, so they've left. There's 2 sets of tracks. One is clearly Amaryllis, as I would note from the distinct lope in her gait.
Yeah.
Quote Olivant.
Yeah.
Then the other is clearly small footsteps from Belle.
Yeah.
So by heading to Griff's, I can then check the entire perimeter for extra footsteps.
Yep. Do you want to give me a survivor roll? There, Columbo?
I was about to say, cheers, Columbo.
Yeah!
And just one more thing.
You do so, and you're like, oh. But no, there's no sign of anyone coming or going other
He's
than
tricksy.
those 2. Yeah.
And false.
He's a Weasley little bastard.
Maybe he went in the dead of night when
And
the
the
layer,
snow's already filled in.
the layer of ice was at its hardest. And he's so small that he didn't even leave an impression. My god, that's... I mean, they have cat-like eyes, right? Maybe he spread out his little paw feet.
You gonna
I
go
can't
in?
trust-
You gonna...
I mean, he'd knock.
Accuse?
He's not going to go accuse. He'd knock.
No one answers. You can look in through the window and Griff is still asleep, and Gale is assumedly also still asleep. You can't see him from the window because he's off in a corner. But
They're both asleep. Now's the time to sneak in.
To
and
cheek
check his
in.
stuff. You don't cheek in while people are asleep. Artie, no.
we want to give me an
Computers.
investigation roll. What are you looking for? Anything suspicious?
Yeah, I
Have
need
you
to.
stolen things?
I need to sneak in and look for the books. Get
Mhm.
out of here, kidden. Right, investigation, you say, yeah?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Natty 11.
You
Statistically,
look
more
around.
than
You
3 times
you
what
go
I am.
over to Gale's pack. He doesn't wake up, and you look through his things. There's no books. Just rations. You know, a nice little love locket, things like that. But no books. He's not like near him, and you maybe you can check the area where Belle kind of hides stuff away sometimes as well because they're close.
Huh.
Both Griff and Gale are still asleep, with you rattling around, not very quietly.
I guess Torrin's not quite bold enough to just accuse the man, like to drag him out in the snow and.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So
Where
I
is
think
she?
Where is she?
so I think he'd leave. Artie, get away from my computer.
Where are you going to go? Quickly, before the cat times grow too strong.
You naughty little cat, aren't you? Hmm? You're so naughty. Hmm? Oh, you. Oh, she's so cute. I'm sorry, she's my child. Go on. Be good.
Actual human daughter.
Exactly, my actual human child. Torrin would head to the center because he can't tell Belle about it because Belle will be like, wow.
You head off that way.
But Richter, he can speak to Richter.
You head off that way, and clearly, Belle, Amaryllis, and Richter are also looking for things. You know, they're just in all in different and unique ways, but they are all doing so. Can you all give me either perception or survival checks?
I would have. I wouldn't have just immediately started looking for a thing. I would have asked Amaryllis if she had seen it.
Oh,
Yeah. That's.
Still
I assumed that you would have done that in this time, and you would have had a very similar conversation.
you even outrolled me as well to add an insult.
Outrolled by Ian.
Oof.
So you get there, and it's about time you get there, Torin, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to, like, they're clearly looking for stuff as well. You're trying to decide whether you want to chat with them. All three of you see something. Torin, you see a rustling by behind someone's house. Amaryllis, you see a rustling in some of the leaves. And Belle, you see the kind of shadow of something off in one direction. All in complete different directions. You see something. Just sort of slightly.
It's the members of One Direction. You said One Direction, that was it.
I presume the point I saw was within 90 feet.
Yeah. Okay.
Boink. It might be a fey being that is immune to sleep, but, well, might as well try.
Well, Gale is a gnome, so he's resistant to magical sleep.
True, but...
Gale is also asleep.
Not Gale.
Unless
I
that
know.
wasn't Gale. You do so, and
Live by the mean, die by the mean.
real quick, what would the other two of you do after seeing
I
something?
would have shot off after mine.
Like run or shoot?
Run, but quietly. Like, Belle is good at swift.
You want to
and
give me a sneak?
Stealthy.
Yeah,
Sure.
stealth check.
Press
Taran-
L3 to crouch.
Taran would do like that.
Damn.
What were you doing, Torin?
Taran would do like that classic horror movie thing. Like where they like see a rustling or something and they like slowly get closer face first and you're like, no, what are you doing? Don't
So you
do
know
it."
what? I'm gonna start with you because these two both like start doing something. You're like, what is that? And you lean around the corner, and then suddenly an ugly blue-skinned face with big but dull eyes and white hair kind of pops out at you, and I go, "Nyah!" And it's got on a sack of things. It looks like tools, kind of round one shoulder. It does do a blah, and then just rushes, leaving no footprints in the snow. Amaryllis, you do that. You cast a spell towards the bush, and there's and then a body just kind of flumps out of the bush, face down into the snow, on top of the snow, dropping and tumbling a copper pot as they do so. And
Every time you say copper pot, I'm reminded of Goonies and Chester Copperpot, and I can't stop. I'm sorry. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
Belle, you run after this thing. It sees you and starts scurrying away towards the walls. A small, kind of goblin-sized, but with blue skins creature, wearing, furs and skins and things that are actually quite bright and colourful when they're not completely snow-covered and kind of the texture and colour of snow creatures. And is carrying a bundle of books. It's kind of carrying it on its head. Just running atop the snow.
Is it faster than me?
No, it's got little legs. If you just want to grab, you can try.
Yeah, I will just catch up to him and grab the books.
Give me an athletics check. Ooh, grab the books.
Oh yeah, he's just running along like this, like.
I am not
he's like,
excited about this athletics check.
And classic cartoons.
You do succeed in grabbing the books off his head.
Okay.
And he does keep running for a little bit before going. Ah! Turning, seeing you, the eyes widen, and there's like runs on all fours towards the wall again.
I just let it go. Whatever.
Is my boy gone?
He's going.
Can I pursue?
Give me an athletics.
I'd like to pursue that criminal scum. That
first scream sounded like the end of the from Immigrant Song.
That's really good. That is a great reference.
I'm going to edit that.
Please do.
That'd be great.
You
My
run
favorite
over.
band. I love this.
You run over, seeing this guy who's like, they're running really fast, but they're just smaller. They've got little legs and things. This one's probably, you know, somewhere just under 3 foot tall. And you not only could grab, you could just grab it, constrain the criminal scum in however you wish. And it just starts babbling.
Taran, like, he would definitely shriek. Who am I kidding? He'd like be like, "Ooh!" and then fall back, and then get up and stomp at this thing through the snow and collar it.
Yeah.
And like, you know, he like lifts it up and looks at it.
One of its eyes looks at you, the other is like looking all around to see if it can get away.
I mean, it's got fur.
Kind of
right?
like a cat, it does just kind of get limp in your grasp.
Good.
It's kind of not struggling, it's just like a heavy weight.
I know that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Limp in my hand.
Oh, okay. I was confused.
Sad trombone. I thought it was a big depression joke.
My brain was like, it's like not struggling in your grip. And Tim's like, I know that feeling, and I was like,
every time you guys speak, I have quips in mind, but I don't want to be rude and interrupt, so I wait until you finished and then do the quip.
I'm gonna pull his underwear up over his head. Now I'm gonna throw one of the furs over his head.
He has got a hood. And just like,
okay, I'll pull the hood over and tuck him under the
Can't
shoulder.
pull the wool over his eye.
you did.
I did.
Yeah. Cool. You do so. Amaryllis. So at this point, I imagine you all kind of end up going back towards the middle. Amaryllis, you've made one pass out.
Yeah, just holding it with a copper pot in the other hand.
She's like, I'll tie a rope around it.
Torin has one under his arms, sort of struggling, but not really. It's still chattering. And Belle,
Mine
you
got
did.
away. Yeah, I let
it
it
got
go.
away, but you got the stuff.
Yeah.
Now that I get a good look at these, do I know what they are?
You can give me a nature check.
Probably not.
No. For
2, 3 to 5.
For once, it's beyond you.
Okay, 2, 3 to 5. If I carry on this way, if I roll another like 10 times, I'll get a nat 20.
Yeah, it's like dumb Fibonacci.
Sorry, I already banked in on your nat 20. Ian's like generating them for everyone, and we're like, oh, thanks. Often in religions, trickster gods or trickster creatures feature reasonably commonly.
There is a trickster god in your religion.
Would I know of these being creatures of that god or associated with that god?
No, let me give you a little exposition dump real quick.
Exposition with Ollie.
The Oventhur spirit god of trickstery is called Canute, and it's a black cat.
Glorious.
And one of the main things is that they never steal from their own people. So if it was... that doesn't quite connect either. So unless there's some really weird shenanigan going on here.
What did the trickster god say when you asked him for help? I Canute.
And that's how it got its name.
Oh, jeez.
That's how. Well, at least he's happy.
It's Canadian.
So you have two of these little dudes. Looking at them up close, they are goblin-like. You have encountered goblins here, but not as commonly as other places. It's not like you're assaulted by goblins all the time, but all of you would know what a goblin is, and it doesn't have the main feature of goblins, which is the bisection down the middle of the body. But the kind of like pointed ears, big eyes, the kind of proportions are goblinish.
Well, I guess our only option is to dissect one. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. He'd hold his one out, pull the hood down, and in true, he will go, "Do you speak common?"
Can any of us understand what it's saying?
Amaryllis can. Speaking Sylvan.
Oh, okay. Oh, so my suspicion that this might be a fey creature might be correct. But yes.
And it is, guess what it's saying? Like, get off me! All that sort of thing. It's not even seeing that many words at this point.
It speaks the tongue of the realm my people originate from. At the moment, it merely wishes to be let go.
It appears to be absolutely mental.
Pretty hopping mad.
I think it has had 3 Red Bulls.
Oh god, the old Red Bull adverts. It's suddenly.
You
Tell it
understand?
will.
Go ahead.
Tell it we'll let it go if it promises to answer some questions.
Amaryllis translates that into Sylvan.
Questions? I don't have answers. Why would I have answers?
You see, and like Amaryllis translates this, and then sort of visibly deflates a little bit, and just says, "It is beings like this that are why I left that realm."
Tell it. It clearly has questions, and if it has questions, it must have answers.
Run that by Ian one more time.
It asked us a question. So therefore, it has questions. And if it has questions, it must have answers.
Amaryllis translates that.
Incapacitated.
Ian outphase the Fae.
And then it starts struggling again, like in your arms.
These creatures, they are often, by the standards of this realm, their thought is erratic and strange. It might not have any rationality in the sense you understand it.
Amaryllis, one of your alarms goes off. To the
There's
north of the village, a ways from where most people live.
There is another creature setting off my alarms. Follow. And she is actually going to cast Expeditious Retreat on herself just to get there quicker. So, like, you just see her movements are, like, sort of become sort of jerky, almost as if, like, it's like a frame by frame, and she's just moving a bit further than she should each time.
Oh, that's going to hurt your head looking at that.
Yeah.
Do you take both beasties?
Hostages.
I'm not letting go of mine.
I would follow her, by the way.
Yeah, I assume you all would. When you do, you get to one of the parts of the wall. The way the wall is built, as many very primitive medieval walls were, is actually a mound of earth on your side of the wall, so it's actually quite easy to jump out. So it's easy to like spear down from your side of the wall and stuff like that. And it looks like they did this, aside from there's kind of a chunk of the wall that looks like it's been kind of snipped and clipped by something larger pushing past it. And you can see 2 long marks that trail up to this, and then on the other side, in the snow.
Can you ask it what did this?
I do so.
Why would I know something like this?
Amaryllis translates.
I am but a simple servant!
What are you a servant of?
Oh, wouldn't you like to know?
She just glares at it. And then translates that little bit for the rest of the party.
Balara will hold one of her daggers to his throat. Ask him again.
It does not react any differently.
Okay.
You think I fear death, bitch?
I can't intimidate it.
It's
You
like-
can give
it's
me an
like-
intimidation.
It's like, strike me down.
Pushes its throat to the blade. Do it.
Death is a concept invented by the Jedi. I don't even know how to spell it. You do so, and at first it doesn't really react, and then it does sort of. I don't want to die on this side. Why would that? That would serve nothing. Serve no purpose at all. Nothing. Worthless. Pointless. Worthless.
Bloody Faye. Give me
It's even
demons,
worse when
give
you
me
can't
devils.
understand what they're saying. Yeah. Give me demons. Give me devils. Nothing but and anything but Fae.
It's always Faye.
It's very rarely Fae.
Okay. I would like to retrocognition because I can look.
Whoa.
I can look 24 hours into the past. I would like to ask a question. Where did these come from?
Oh boy.
I was debating where do these come from or what sent them, and I think where these come from is probably like.
Where do these come from? You can retrocognition is a little bit clearer than precognition. You can really see the flow shifting and moving and what transpired in past lives. And it actually seems that most of them climbed up from this point. 4 of these little creatures. And it looks like they don't. From you know, they're acting more like a thieving animal that doesn't know what they're looking for, but will just take what they find rather than
Ferrets.
thieves, like ferrets, yeah, rather than anything else. But they didn't take food.
Like
They're
blue
not living food or
ferrets
anything.
with opposable thumbs.
Okay, in that case, can I retrocognition what sent them? Is that something I
You're
can
going
see?
hard.
Yeah.
Retrocognitioning something like before you do it, it would be pretty unlikely unless that thing was here.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I just wanted to like know whether I could find something.
No,
like that,
retrocognition is more. I'm in a place. I want to see what happened,
but- yeah, I figured as much, but
or a
Not
person,
suspect.
but less so for. You got some Fae shenanigans.
Doran will turn to Amaryllis and say, Amaryllis, can you translate something?
certainly.
Tell it that if it comes back and steals stuff again, I'll have to smash its skull in. As
Before
it
you
is.
finish saying this, you see Oscar running towards you in the snow, and then he will, like, out of breath, just like,
Oh no, Sophie's
What?
gone!
"Did you see it? You were chasing it too. Did you see the thing?
Yeah, they both have one out.
Where is my wife? Where is Sophie? One of these things stole her from our home."
I enter the conversation with the pot and I'm like, Father, hello.
I got my pot! Look!
Richter, one of these creatures stole your mother away. Did it go this way? These were
This
hole in the wall
seems
is?
to be the entrance and exit point. My
They leave.
alarm went off here just.
They leave no tracks in the snow. If we follow any tracks, they'll be from dragging Sophie.
Your precognition, Ian, did tell you which way they came from. They came from west, Clearkeep way.
Okay, I would at this point say, the flow bequeathed on me last night knowledge that something would happen today. I did not know what, but Blessedly, I have a direction west of the village.
Sorry. I would immediately look over the wall and look for Sophie drag tracks.
they're like I said, there's 2 long marks in the snow.
I would elbow Richter, point, and then just go.
Go get her back. I'll keep watch for more of these thieving beasts, whatever they are, and put these 2 to the knife.
I'll like underarm the pot to Oscar and be like, Rosemary, and turn around and run.
I would plop the books in it.
Yeah, that's actually pretty sensible, honestly.
And yeah, just
Swoosh.
Yeah.
out of there.
Darren's going to pop his boy under the arm and get jogging after them.
Okay, you're taking yours with you. Are you taking yours, Amaryllis?
You keep your sniffer dog with you.
I think we've got one. And
keep it with Richter.
Yeah, Amaryllis doesn't like these things, so
Amaryllis
she's
just
going
smashes
to
it on the palisade.
quite happily hand it off to Oscar to kill it.
Yeah.
She also I imagine she also because. No, wait, that's not Faye that do that. Don't I? I was just wondering.
The wires are crossing in the Jarviskjir lore in your brain.
Yeah, a little bit.
You guys start chasing the tracks, and there are quite obvious tracks. It looks like one of these Fae is wheeling the wheelchair out of here, up, kind of along the mountain line westward.
I know that we'll likely find this anyway just by following the tracks, and it's not a native dryad ability, but can I sense like a sort of effectively a Fey portal or anything in the area?
Maybe when you're done chasing it.
Fair enough.
You can look in a particular place. Looking in the entire one side of the valley would be a several weeks job.
Reasonable.
The downside of this being, the snow is heavy and you're trudging through it. Clearly this thing is running on top of it. And that seems to give it the slightest edge in speed that it didn't have over short distances, but it does in long distances outside of the village, where the snow is much heavier, because it's not being cleared out by people trudging around and stuff. Why don't you, Belle, you give me a survival check with advantage before you keep memeing the poor fate of Richter's mother.
I can't help it, I'm sorry. You wanted survival?
Yes, with advantage, please.
Sure thing.
Yeah, it's easy to follow, but what you're mostly doing, Belle, is increasing the speed in which you all can move. You know? So you rush and follow and rush and follow, and it's getting very close to the mountain line where it gets too, you know, the ground too difficult to traverse, and it doesn't go up it. You chase it for a little while, where it suddenly does divert upwards, up some rocks, up what, unlike a lot of the rest of the mountain, the snow is kind of falling and settling in kind of a ramp or so. It must be maybe a glacier or something that's allowing the snow to settle. And you can start heading up this way, chasing the Fae, but your chase will end after a short break. We'll be back in a moment.
That went quick.
That did go quick.
I'm going a little early because you're at a good moment to pause. We'll be back in a moment.